All right, folks, the earthquake map is jumping out of control today, this morning. Not early Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. But the Philippines just hit with a 7.1. There was another earthquake of a 5.5 in that ring of fire. Ever since the solar flare, the CME, which is on video, as I said on the last video I just uploaded, that what you hear, that phone vibrating, are the earthquakes being reported. So we see video of the aurora. There's another video that I saw where it's showing the energy that is coming from the sun, and then you see the energy that is almost like a wind tunnel type thing where they do for cars. You see the energy and the electric and the poles as well, the electric, the magnetic poles. You see the energy radiating off the earth. So a lot of people are reporting illness. Now, if this is radiation, as I told you about, if you looked up EMF and what that does and symptoms and radiation from that, it's also causing the earth to shift. This is the reason, and again, I am backing this up with my own testimony, is that because of this app, ever since this event has happened, the earthquake map, it's always been jumping, right? I've been reporting that. But from the last 2 days, it's been 14 volcano reports in Africa. China has been hit with more than 10 earthquakes. The Pacific Rim, all of that over there is the ring of fire. Days of sorrow, folks. We are in those days of sorrow. Earthquakes in diverse places, pestilence, wars, rumors of wars. Those are just the top 3 that are going on right now. And with the pestilence going on, we see that with the children. That's the reason why I want to get to this verse today. And parents, how they sacrifice their child. And some will not repent. They won't. They won't admit to what they've done. Let's get into this, because this has a lot to do with how I'm feeling right now on this topic. 1 Kings chapter 3, and we start at verse 16. Then came there 2 women that were harlots. Other translations call them prostitutes. Unto the king, and stood before him. And one woman said, O my Lord, I and this woman dwelled in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass on the 3rd day after that I was delivered. Okay, she had a baby, and then the other chick had a baby 3 days later. Okay, and then she was delivered also, and we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, except we 2 in the house. There were only 2 women in the house. Only 2 people in the house. Now they both got babies. Okay. Verse 19. And this woman's child died in the night, because she overlaid it. Another translation says she rolled over on her child and smothered him. How many times this has been happening, even in our day? That's why you're supposed to put your child in a crib. You don't sleep in the bed with your child, because you can kill it. Roll over on your child and suffocate it. So that's what she said happened here. Okay. Verse 20. And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me, while thine handmaid slept, and laid it in my bosom, and laid her dead child, and she took. So, king, this woman rolled over on her child and killed the child. And then, let me tell you how bold this chick was, if this was today's time, because it'd be some cuss words happening. And she took my child, which was alive, and gave me her dead child. This was really evil. You put your dead child on me and took my child, which was alive, instead of just saying, hey, I rolled over and killed my child. You doubled down and stole my living child. The Bible's full of horror stories. You ain't got to worry about watching Hollywood. Because in 3 Kings, they was running around boiling babies trying to eat them. This is 1 Kings. This story is getting to the point to where I want to talk about today, about parents today and what they've been doing to their children. Okay. So let's continue. And when I arose in the morning, hold on, folks. Got another earthquake alert, but I got an alarm going on. Hold on. Let me see if I can cut this off without messing up my video. Okay. Now, so coming from iPhone back to Android, I got to get out of iPhone la la land. Now, she said, when I arose in the morning to give my child suck, to breastfeed, behold, it was this dead child. But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son, which I did bear. Woke up the next day, you can't feed a dead baby. And the other woman, verse 22, said, no, or nay, but the living son is my son, and the dead son is your son. Ooh! It would have been some furniture moving up in there. We getting ready to fight. This chick you killed your own son, doubled down, didn't admit the truth, sins of omission and commission, by the way, in this verse, and you stole my living son. And then you're going to lie and said, no, like, I'm stupid. I don't know. This is. And the other woman said, no, but the living son is my son and the dead son is your son. And she said, no, but the dead son is your son and the lit. So here they're going back and forth. Now we're getting ready to go to court on one of these shows. We're going to go to Judge Judy and we're going to take the dead baby in there with the living baby. Watch this. So they went before the king to get it figured out. Then said the king, the one says, this is my son that lives and your son is dead. And the other said, no, but the son that is dead. So they're going back and forth. No, my son, your son, my son, in front of the king. But the problem with this story is the chick that killed her son did not admit that she killed her son. Human beings have not changed from the Old Testament to the New Testament. This is still going on today. People will leave their dead relatives up in the house, still in the bed, and not report their death so that they can benefit from getting a check. Ain't nothing changed, folks. Still just as diabolical, even after the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ. And you want to say you always saved? He finished his work at the cross, but we still a fool. We still do things every day that ain't correct. So if that's the case, if he did it all, why are we still we have situations in this Old Testament, and we still see situations today that are the same. A lot of folks think on this once saved, always saved. Well, since he did it, I don't do no sin. People still acting the same before Christ and after Christ. The only difference is when you repent and get right with him and live for him daily, you have an entryway into the kingdom. People think, well, I can live and do what I want to do and not have no consequences because he already did it. So this chick was probably saying the same thing today because this is what folks still doing today. Nothing's changed. And all these people that have given their child this chicken soup and now these children is getting sick, they are doubling down just like this chick did. She did not admit she killed her child. The same thing is going on with these parents today. They will not admit that they killed their child. They will double down like she did. And they will stand before a magistrate and say, they will not admit sins of omission and commission. That's what's going on here. Let's keep reading. And the king said, bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, divide the child in two. Cut the living child in two. Oh, we're going to figure this out. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure out whose baby it is. The king said, go get me a sword. And we're going to cut the child in two. I want you to think about what's happening here. But we're going to get it figured out right now. Go get me a sword. Okay? And give one half to this chick and the other half to that chick. Cut the baby in half, the living child. And give one to each. Then spake the woman whose the living child was unto the king, for her bowels yearned upon her son. And she said, O my Lord, give her the living child, in no wise slay it. Don't kill it, just give it to her. This is how you find out whose child it was. In other words, who's going to step in front of this bullet? So the real mother said, wait a minute, don't do that. I don't want you to kill my baby. So just give it to her. Let it live. Right? Whew. Give her the living child, in no wise slay it. But the other said, let it be neither mine or hers, but divide it. Woo, this wicked heifer. The woman that killed her own child tripled down. Now we tripling down. No, kill it. It can't be for neither one of us. That ain't even none of your child. But kill it. So who's the evil and wicked one here? This is what parents are doing today. This is what mothers have done. I'm not going to say it wasn't no dads and husbands involved in these decisions, but I can pretty much guarantee you that the mothers were the majority of the parents that allowed their child to be killed slowly today with the chicken soup were mothers. I'm not going to say that the fathers wasn't a part of the parenting decision, but I can guarantee you the majority of them were mothers. Because why? Why do I say that? Because the Bible says so. The men or the fathers probably said, okay, I'll do. They probably backed it, but they really didn't go ham on it like the mothers are. And you see on TV, who you see the most? Yeah, the homes are broken, the fathers ain't there. But who you see the most out in front with their child, pushing them to the serpent to eat that bowl of soup? It's the mothers. And some mothers are not even going to comply and admit, just like this chick here. They are doubling down and they will say, I didn't do nothing wrong. Just like this chick. I didn't do nothing wrong. Matter of fact, kill it. She didn't even want, listen, the mother whose the baby was, she said, don't kill it, give it to her. But how wicked parents are and that evil nature. You getting ready to get a whole child alive. But you know what? Since you in defeat and in denial, kill the baby. Can't neither one of us have it. But the other one said, let it be neither mine nor hers, but divide it. Then the king answered and said, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. And all of Israel heard the judgment in which the king had judged. And they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to do judgment. This chick rolls over her child, kills her child, all right? And doubles down and stole another woman's baby, gave that woman her dead baby. So even when you was about to get the judgment of, here, you can have the baby, because the real mother said, don't cut it in half. But you was tripled down and said, no, cut it in half. Ain't neither one of us going to have it. You messed up. You killed your child. You smothered your child. You did that. You have to be accountable. You gave your child that bowl of chicken soup just so they could go to school. And you still won't admit that you did the wrong thing. Ain't nothing changed from this book to today. Not a plain Jane thing. The parenting skills are still depleted. From Old Testament to 2023, we still killing our own babies and won't admit that you have killed your child. You won't do it. You'll double, triple down. That's what we see today. You know the information is out there that it's deadly, that it could kill. And I've seen social media reports, even if it ain't the right thing, I'm glad I did it. What kind of foolishness is that? That's what, as soon as I heard this report about the children being sick, it took me back to where they pushed the narrative. In order for your child to go to school, they got to eat this bowl of chicken soup. And when they eat this bowl of chicken soup, okay, that's the bad part about that. There ain't no guarantee. So this woman rolls over her child and smothers it to death in 1 Kings. And you in the house and you took another person's baby. And you have not admitted you're wrong. You double, triple down. The same thing with these parents. They're going to double and triple down. They're going to say, I didn't do nothing wrong. Knowing full well that they're guilty. I don't care what society said you had to do. You didn't have to do that. But since you did it, then you didn't even admit that what you did was a bad decision. Just like this woman here in 1 Kings chapter 3, 16 through 28. We've been killing our children and sacrificing them. And 3 Kings, they were talking about cannibalism in 3 Kings. Boiling babies and eating them. Anybody want to know the answers? That's where your answers are. That's where your answers are. Peace.